guys, Captain Ken here. Hey, I wanted to share a little tidbit on anchoring. Something I've learned, and it's taken me a long time to do it, but I feel it's worth sharing, man. Before we started cruising on the boat, full-time sailing, cruising, I had an offshore fishing boat. So I cut my teeth and went to the school of hard knocks on anchoring. But we did a lot of grouper digging out of Tampa Bay, St. Pete area. And we would anchor anywhere in 35 to 125 feet. So we had different types of anchors that I used. We're in different boats with different guys, friends of mine. And some of them we had 10 feet of chain with the rest of it rope or line rode. And other ones we had 20 feet of chain. Some of them had more. But one of the mistakes that we always seemed to make in the beginning was we'd drop our anchor down and the anchor we'd drop the anchor to the bottom, it would hit the bottom, and whatever chain we had would pile up on top of the anchor. And then when we would try to set the anchor, we would constantly drag. So let's say we're going to try to drop anchor on a reef or a wreck. We'd always go up current or upwind of the reef or the wreck, and we'd drop the anchor and then back down, set the anchor, and try to be on top of this wreck. But we would drop the anchor, and 50 to anywhere from 35 to 150 feet at times. This anchor would go to the bottom, and the chain would pile up on top of it. And we didn't know this was happening. And we would drag anchor over. We had to try to put the anchor out again and again and again, sometimes 5 or 6 times before we actually got an anchor set. And we didn't really know what was happening until we got into some, 35 feet of water, and it was crystal clear. And I saw the anchor hit the bottom and all the chain piled up on it, and it drug the anchor. So that's how I learned anchoring techniques that I use now, and I don't have that problem. When we set anchor now, we are good to go, and usually on the first attempt. All right, guys. Hey, one of the things about anchoring up, man, it says you don't want to drop your anchor straight down to the bottom and just let your chain free fall, because it'll pile up on top of the anchor. And then when you back up and try to set the anchor, you're gonna wind up dislodging the anchor and just dragging it in a big tangled mess. Here's what you don't want to do. All right, so what you want to do, man, you're gonna want to drop the anchor. When it touches bottom, pull all your slack off the chain and let the boat drift back so there's no chain on the anchor. You'll have the anchor sitting on the bottom, and then the chain slowly pays out to it. So just to reiterate, guys, we're going to lower the anchor down until it touches the bottom. We're going to back the boat up so the chain lays behind the anchor. And then we're going to power up and set the anchor. Once it gets set, then we'll put a load on it and really bury it down to the shank of the anchor. All right, guys, I hope this tip helps you out. And I also want to go over and I want to show you something that I learned of how to get an anchor out of the rocks, or anchor that's stuck on the bottom that you can't pull out. You can't, you try to pull it out with your windlass, you try to pull it out with the engines, and it doesn't want to come out. I want to share this with you of how to use basically a homemade anchor retrieval device that we made up with stuff that we had on the boat, and we used our dinghy to pull an anchor that is stuck in the rocks or entangled in something you can't get it out. So basically this homemade device is a line with a chain on it that you can make a loop out of the chain. The chain, this loop of chain will go around your anchor rod slide down it till it gets to the anchor, and it goes over the shank of the anchor, and you're actually pulling the anchor backwards out of whatever it's entangled in, whether it's in the rocks, or we dropped anchor and it slid over a cable, or somebody else's old anchor chain, you know, something laying on the bottom like that. So, and then we used our dinghy to actually pull and dislodge that, you know, to retrieve our anchor, man. And it's just a simulation of what can happen and how we, you know, how we address that. So, hey, I hope this guy's. So I help. We're gonna have to put some called bloopers at the end. Oh my God, I can't talk today for some reason. All right, guys. Hey, I hope this helps you out, and let us know in the comments. All right, guys. Hey, I wanted to show you how to get an anchor unstuck from the rocks without going in the water. This happens from time to time. I learned this when I was doing my offshore fishing boat. But here's what I got. You go on a small length of chain. I've got stainless because I didn't want to have to store anything that's going to rust or anything, but you can use whatever you got. And I got a big lock link right there. And I got about 40 feet of line. I'll hardly ever anchor in more than 20 feet, so this is more than long enough. But what we're gonna do, the idea is, I put this around my anchor chain. I drag it out with my dinghy. My wife is motoring forward to take the tension off the chain, and I use the dinghy and this to pull the anchor out backward. And we're gonna go ahead and set that up, show you how it's done, and we're gonna see if we can pull an anchor out. Share some info with you guys. So I'll put this around my chain, like that. It's my main anchor chain. I'll lock this back in, and get it on again. And I'll put my line on. And down here, you can see, slide down the chain. Now, I don't know what kind of anchor you have, but you want this loop of chain so it's not bigger than your anchor, so it can't go slide over your anchor once you get down. And we'll slide that down, and we're gonna pull the anchor out with the dinghy. Hey, if this video helps you out, be sure to share with your friends, and thanks for watching, guys.